last minute stress. Jā, es arī nesaprotu, ne tik awkward.
Bet man nav šajā citām prezentācijām tā nav. Bet man šērojās vienalga bookkeepings visu laiku tagad šērojas. Okay, but they start.
Oh, you're sharing the tab. That's why. Stop sharing.
Nē.
Yes. No.
Yes.
Jā, augšā rakstīts jūs sharing the tab.
Yeah.
No.
If you share the screen, it's dead.
Potato, potato.
Who knows?
Success.
Yep. You all ready? Can you hear me?
Are you ready, kids?
Yeah, Captain.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's timekeeper? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I welcome you all to our bookkeeping course presentation. This presentation is brought to you by my lovely colleague Carlis and myself, Jakobs. Firstly, what is this presentation? It's all about Solid. It's an application for a household to track your chores and tasks, all the way from your finance to your wife's plans, your daughter's plan, or even your dog's plan, to understand what to do and when to do it. Yeah. Content of this presentation. Firstly, we're going to introduce to all of the technical side of this project. Then we're going to move on to theory. Thirdly, our growth model. And lastly, our reflections of this course. Research question. Quite simple. What taxes need to be paid over a period of time for a high growth, lean, bootstrapped tech startup without PPE? PPE stands for property, plant, and equipment. Plant being as a manufacturing plant. Yeah. Our key performance indicators are as well known as KPIs. Firstly, do the deliverables or homework. Then ask ourselves a question, are they done? And after that, ask another question, how done are they? Our special KPI was to calculate the exit valuation after 6 years for Solid. Deliverables, basic tax concept, explained. Secondly, how Solid will pay taxes over time. Basically do the homework, make the timeline for Solid, make and build the growth model for Solid, and lastly, the most important part, calculation of Solid validations at the exit. Yeah, but bookkeeping, what is bookkeeping? The brief theory of bookkeeping, that is the process of recording your company's financial transactions into organized accounts. If I have to end this presentation right now, the main things that you should know about bookkeeping as a CEO or future entrepreneur are these. Monthly, you have 3 reports that you have to submit. Firstly being employer's report, then VAT return, and corporate income tax return. Monthly have to be submitted until 17th of each month. About yearly, you have to submit company's annual report. And this have to be submitted until May. All in this nice platform called EDAS. Sort of like our platform Solid, all with reminders of what to submit and when to submit it. Yeah, but let's talk about life till exit for Solid. Month 0, we're not even starting the timeline. We open a company. We open an LLC, or in Latvia, SIA, with the full starting capital of 2,900 euros. And from month 1, we start to become a watt payer. Reason is so we don't get in any legal trouble over time that we miss the opening that we had to start becoming a watt payer, because in the end we have to become it. And how are we going to do it? Simply this form we have to submit in VID, and we become a watt payer. But now let's crunch some numbers of the growth model.
All right, on to the fun stuff. At month 5, we decide to outsource accounting instead of doing it ourselves, because accounting takes a lot of time and we'd like to spend more time on facilitating growth. So at first we pay 300 euros a month, and then that value progressively increases as our users increase as well. At month 12, we pay out our first dividends so that we have something to live off of. Now, considering the fact that the growth is quite optimistic, we say that we want 650 euros per month as a living cost. That times 12 months times 2 of us equals 15,600 euros in net dividends. Then the gross paid out is that times the effective corporate income tax rate, which is 25%, leaving us with 19,500 gross. And the difference there is what we send to the Latvian State Revenue Service, which is 3,900 euros. At month 16, we hire 2 full-stack developers with an employment contract, non-compete, and non-disclosure. Shh, nobody has to know what happens here. At month 17, we pay them, and this is where the real fun begins. First, consider that the salary per developer is 3,000 euros. We have 2 developers. First, we have to remove the state social insurance. So we deduct from the salary 23.59%, or 707.7 euros. And then on top of salary, us as the employer, we have to pay 315 euros due to the 10.5% rate. And then that leaves us with a post-social insurance salary of 2,292 euros and 30 cents. That 2,292 euros and 30 cents is what we can apply the personal income tax rate to. The personal income tax rate is calculated from the yearly, and then essentially we have 27,504 for both either developers' yearly income, and they fall into both bracket 1 and bracket 2, but not bracket 3. Bracket 1 has a tax rate of 20%, so that leaves 4,000 euros and 8 cents to be removed from the salary in bracket 1. And in bracket 2, only 1725 euros falls in. So an effective tax rate of 23% applied to that leaves 397 euros to be paid for bracket 2. Well, that leaves us with almost 18,000 euros per month to the SRS, and a total employee cost per month of 6,630 euros. At month 18, we suddenly need a lawyer, an unexpected expense because we are having a conflict with a litigious competitor. This is a compliment because it means that we're getting successful. However, because we got a good lawyer, we intimidated the competitor and they dropped the case. We ended up paying 3,000 euros to the lawyer anyways. And then we can no longer handle all the customer support tickets, so we outsource our customer support for 750 euros per month. Then at months 36, 48, and 60, we again pay ourselves out some dividends, each month increasing more. And finally, at month 73, we exit. Now, exit valuation in practice might be more complicated, but in theory is quite simple. For some reason, the industry standard is EBITDA, according to an entrepreneur that I talked to, which is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Think of it this way. It's kind of like how a child might calculate profit for a lemonade stand. He doesn't have to pay taxes. He doesn't have to do any accounting stuff. He basically has no capital because, except for maybe lemons, which is your cost, and, your water, he has nothing else to pay. So just simple revenue minus cost. So EBITDA is then multiplied by a multiple. In tech, for a subscription service, 10 might be fair if we have a Napoleon complex. In construction, a multiple of 2 would be fair as well. So since we're not in construction, we're in tech with a subscription service, we're just going to crown ourselves like Napoleon and give ourselves a multiple of 10 years. And then we're going to add capital and capital gains tax and an M&A fee. For capital, since we don't have PPE, all that we have to add is our bank balance, and that makes it very simple. At the end, calculating all of it together, we have a per shareholder return to both of us of 118,701,335 euros. Very optimistic for 6 years. Now, our growth model doesn't even fit in the largest setting to zoom out on Google Sheets, which is a testament to its comprehensiveness. But it's not realistic because, first, even though we assume conservatively 80 cents per user per month for cost, for infrastructure, that's not including other costs. Price per seat per month, so essentially per user subscription cost, 4 euros, and reinvestment of net income until month 55 into advertising of 1%. It still doesn't offset the fact that our growth is very optimistic. The only thing realistic about this growth is the actual sort of sigmoid-like curve. Everything else is not. Within 6 years, to get to about 800,000 users is quite optimistic, in our opinion. And also, on the other hand, you can see monthly EBITDA and net income. You can see that there's quite a lot of unallocated capital that we could, or that we should have probably allocated more towards spending on advertising and developers in a realistic scenario, and we wouldn't have such a large exit valuation. But that's for next time, because this is all just a hypothetical situation, an exercise, a fugazi, it's a wazi, it's a woozy. That's that. So I had quite a lot of fun doing this. Excel is one of my favorite things to do ever, only if I just, have like 20 cups of coffee and maybe a bump of some unknown substance. But in this case, I had lots of fun. Growth modeling is my favorite activity to do, my only favorite activity to do on Excel or Google Sheets. And yeah.
My personal reflection is that I understand how it actually works. We had a nice business evening with Carlos last week, and I understood how actually how applications and web pages work from the technical side, or Latvian would call pastāstīs lācītim vēderā, and understand that. Yeah, but thank you, and let's get that bread. Have any questions?
Eva, do you have some question or feedback already?
Yes, I have questions about your salary. Can you go back to the slide?
Certainly. No, forward, yeah. There you go.
Yes, this one. There is, what's the total cost per person in the month?
6,630. I'm realizing now that we may have forgotten income tax.
No, it's okay. I want to talk about income tax because it's only on persons, and we never know what we need to take in action about the personal income tax. They are some kind of child, 1, 2, 3, or 7, and it's. But I want to talk about social tax, and I think you have made a little or big mistake, because you do not deduct from salary 23.59 percent. You pay this 707 euros on top of the salary, not deduct. Like they are, yes, you deduct from salary 10.5, and you pay on top of salary 23%.
Ah, well, big mistake, easy to make, I suppose. But okay. Well, at least the percentages are correct.
If you have, I will check, because how can you like 6,000 total?
Two developers, that's why.
This is two.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The total will be if you have like 3,000 on paper, yes, or it is then you will pay for one person three thousand 707 euros. So multiply by two, and there is a different cost per month,
Yeah.
right?
It sounds right. Yeah, I think what Gen Z might call this girl math. Yeah.
Okay, because yes, you have total. Sorry, yes, total cost per person. Yes, 3,700, and then euros to be
Mhm.
exact.
All right.
Multiply by two, so you have more expenses than you thought
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah. Well, I think growth will compensate for it, but this is definitely a next step to
Okay,
fix
that's
that.
good.
Yes.
That's and also you 750 euros per month to lawyer and to accountant 300. This is with or without VAT.
This is including VAT, and VAT is deductible. Of course, we forgot to include that slide, but it is in our growth model.
Yes, but I think if you make a growth model, you don't include VAT amounts. Then you will see the exact revenue from your business. You can see like cash flow, of course, if you are including also VAT in some kind of models, but it won't show you how much money you will get on a balance sheet on the paper.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes.
That's all.
All right, thank you. And regarding as well, what Eva just said is typically you don't put VAT in this one because you don't count on that money as your growth in this case. But I also have few points. Enjoyed the presentation, enjoyed the humor. That's really cool. Then it's easier to take in something like this. The KPI slide at the beginning, it was confusing. It kind of seemed so obvious that you're stating there that it kind of, at the end, I didn't realize there wasn't value basically added into that slide where you were explaining your KPIs there.
Yeah, we're just kind of poking fun at them because we don't see the purpose of them.
Then you maybe should try to figure out the purpose of them instead joking about them. That's one. There was basically everything is on expenses, and I know, but it was just kind of, for the visuals, it kind of felt a need as a viewer to see your kind of this growth projections, something, income. Otherwise, you just expenses, but then at the end, boom, 120 million. So it's kind of, So you just show here basically we're gonna have 3,000, 6,000 expenses, and then 3 years later you're taking out, like exiting with 100 millions in your pockets. So it's kind of missing the magic picture or something in between what's happening there. Like if you do the steps, it's good maybe to follow up as well us in this growth model. So it's not just kind of something happens and here we're millionaires. So
maybe a month by month breakdown would have been helpful.
Basically, it's so different spaces, like it's different universes that you were showing. Basically, hey, now we're having only 70, 150 euros a month for some lawyer, and 2 minutes later, here we are pocketing 100 million. So it's kind of the worlds, the planets doesn't match up in how you kind of structured all together. Right, and this one as well. And the question is regarding this one. I like that you leave this slide. Did you look at some competitors or some businesses that have shared their growth model, and you looked on them? How does it go together with this one?
No, we went completely from first principles.
Because that would be first principle, looking at a competition if you kind of next step. Yeah.
we looked at different industries. Looked at a McKinsey report on growth of various.
Because even even for Google Chrome, they had really similar like this. The Google shared the data how were they using OKR method to actually get more users for the Chrome. So it's kind of really similar to that one, and that would maybe either increase or decrease your confidence on something like this. It just would be nice if you would have looked on this. And the last note, I had Carlos excels at these simulations in Excel. Basically, yes. Thank you. Anyone else?
No time left. No time.
Oh, good for you.
Antus mandă Victor. Deci pazudīs enää momentā.
Kas